Welcome to Talk Show on a Stick. My name is Margot Reinberger. I am thrilled to be with someone whom I consider the royalty of Washington County Fair, and that is Eileen Tank. Eileen, welcome. Just to give a brief idea, Eileen's done many things, but she was the fair manager from 1988 to 2004, and then went on to be an exhibit coordinator 2005 to 2016, and there's a lot more involvement. Tell us all of your involvement over the years.
Well, my family started by being involved in 4-H back when our children were young and in 4-H. And we've continued through the years, and my husband and I volunteered right away to fill in, and we have continued through the years, and now I've continued on. And as Margot said, I was selected as fair manager after Doc and Carol Swanson wanted to give up the position because it does take a lot of time. And everything is a volunteer position. So we took it over in 1988, and at that time we were out here at this fairgrounds in Lake Elmo, near Lake Elmo I should probably say, and originally the fair, back when my children were involved in 4-H, was back in Bayport. We had 2 locations in Bayport. We were, first years that I recall, way back in the 60s, we were located at the south end of Bayport in a building that was part of Crocus Park. It was a roller skating rink. And then we had one end of the building for 4-H, and one end of the building was open class exhibits. And there just wasn't a lot of room. We were growing. So then we were able to rent tents and move to the north end of Bayport, right adjacent to Anderson Windows. We were there for several years, and we had more room, and we rented more tents. Fair was growing. However, Andersons were very interested. They were also growing Anderson Windows, and they wanted part of our land. So the year 1970 was the first year we were out here at this location. We sold the little land we had there in Bayport to Anderson Corporation, and we moved out here. And we started with just the first year we had one exhibit building, Building A. Half of the building was for open class exhibits and half was for 4-H exhibits. We had the cattle barn, which is now the cattle barn. I recall it only had half a roof on it by the time fair time came. That's all the further the builders got by the time fair arrived. And then we had, through the years, we added all the horse. Being horse is such a big project here in Washington County for especially the 4-Hers. The horse project has really grown. So the horses had a building that now houses the goats. That was the first horse barn. And then as years went on, we built the large horse barn over here that holds over 200 horses. So everything keeps growing and growing.
Well, I want to assure the viewers that I did not allow, nor did she do this, hijack the interview, but I asked Eileen, because she has such a rich history here, to go ahead and give, without me interrupting her, tell me how many of the Tank families and their spouses are currently involved in the fair, just a number.
We have 5 children. 4 of them live right here in Washington County and are involved in the fair with their spouses. My youngest daughter, Barb, lives in Plainview, part of the Wabasha County Fair. She's also fair manager down there.
Interesting.
Runs in the family,
yes,
I guess.
Yes, it does. What are the biggest changes you've seen over the years? Okay, from remembering Bayport to now, or even just taking it from when we started here in 1970 to now?
The size, how it's grown. It was all the programs, if it's 4-H or even the FFA or any of the carnival, anything you look at has grown through the years. And of course we do have a lot of exhibitors that come, And we have a lot of visitors that just come to see our fair. We call it a mini state fair.
Are attendance-wise, up, down, or has it been kind of?
Oh, it depends
steady?
on the weather.
Okay.
But I would say definitely 50,000 come attend every year
Yes.
during the 5
Right.
days.
And you come every day. So
Oh, yes.
what are your favorite things to do at the fair that you look forward to and that you make sure you do every August or July/August, depending
Yeah.
on when it falls?
Well, I do enjoy the cattle shows. I am from a farmer's wife, and now I have grandsons that do the farming, and so I always come to watch and have great-grandchildren that are showing in cattle and also in the pig projects, so you have to take those things in. And just to go around and visit all the vendors, you recognize a lot of the people, and it becomes a tradition to say hello every year. And
As they realize Eileen Tank is the royalty of Washington County Fair, tell me favorite foods that you make sure to have every year.
you know, my favorite on my fancy things, I like the Pronto Pup.
We were over them visiting the other day, interviewing them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people I see year after year, and
Yes.
you do too, and in way more years than
Right.
certainly I know. Which is the longest vendor that you're aware of?
Well, Pronto Pup is one that's always been here.
Since the beginning of time? No.
Yeah.
But since
They-
here, since this,
yes, they came with us, I think, from Bayport. Other than that,
I know it's hard because some
Yeah.
have. I talked to. We were getting different years, depending on whom you asked. Tell me, when you compare Washington County to the other county fairs, and I'm sure you've been to some, including
Yes.
one that your daughter is the fair manager at. What are the differences? Are there any strong differences in the Washington County one versus the others?
well, I think mainly the difference would be size. We have a large county fair, very large.
And but you mean large geographically?
Geographically,
people-wise?
and the number of exhibits in the horse barn or the cattle barn or the open class exhibits
I
or
see.
the 4-H building, we do have a large county fair versus a lot of the rural counties.
And
you know,
yes.
yeah,
And I know some of those have actually gone out. I mean, they no longer exist.
yes.
And why would you say that there'd be reason for why county fairs, some of them don't have a presence anymore in our state?
Well, I think most people come to the fair late in the afternoon, evening, or on Saturday or Sunday because a majority of the people, adults I should say, work jobs nowadays. I don't care if it's in the rural area or in the metropolitan area like we are, but they just don't come to the fair until evenings. So it makes a difference in how you draw your crowd.
And I know some of the fairs have been taken down from 5 days to
Yes.
fewer days. And has that made? Are you aware if that's made much difference?
Well, I think, I know my daughter's fair down there in Wabasha, they just don't get crowds. They don't hardly have any entertainment or anything until after 5 p.m. because there's just the people that need to be at the fair there during the day. We're here, we have people all the time.
Taking a historic perspective, what changes, if any, would you like to see in Washington County over, let's say, the next 5 years?
Well, things are improving every year here at our fair. If there be something to improve on some more, I know the horse people are waiting for more space because they do have large horse shows. They're excellent horse shows, but it all takes a lot of money.
Yeah, it does. Exactly right. And
So otherwise,
how is the fair funded? So for viewers.
we are a 501c3, a nonprofit organization. We do receive a grant each year from Washington County government, and that plus just the gate admissions and what we live on.
Let's talk on the 4-H presence. Some places it's getting to be less.
Right.
It feels like ours is strong. Am I wrong on that?
It seems very strong,
Okay.
yes. And I think that makes, because we do have a lot of 4-H clubs within our county and active leaders. It takes a lot of time. It's all volunteer work.
And how are they funded? Donate during the fair? Did they do fundraisers?
We, as the fair, furnish them the building.
Okay.
We pay all the premiums for all these 4-H exhibits, come out of our county fair fund.
You know, as a vendor, as I go by and I see all the different vendors, I think, oh my gosh, I'd want to be on the outside. But, you know, remember a few years ago when it was really cold? I mean, I think I had an Angora sweater on, and I believe it was July, which was like mind-boggling
Yes.
to do. So you can never count on it. You have 5 days to make
Right.
some kind of a profit. And over the years, has there ever been where it was a rain out for all 5 that you remember?
Some years we've had 1 or 2 rainy days when it didn't seem to stop. And that makes a great difference. Bad for the checkbook at the end.
Bad for the and just kind of for the morale too.
Yes.
The vendors are sitting there and they have nothing. No customers, no money.
Right.
What are you gonna say? What are just in closing? What are your thoughts on county fairs? Are they still viable as a microcosm? What I call a microcosm of the America way, the rural America.
I certainly hope that all the counties will be able to continue having a county fair. It's an old custom that we've had, but it's still a very meaningful custom, and we should try and keep, because it brings the people together from the community. It's a fun time for all, and all the exhibitors enjoy this once-a-year activity. And the few days that you spend at the fair are very enjoyable.
Well, one thing I want the viewers to know too is that Washington County Egg Society puts on the fair, and it's always such a treasure to have you there at the meetings and see you throughout the fair, because you do have that historical perspective and insight that all of us depend on and all of us respect. So, Eileen Tank, Royalty, Washington County Fair, thank you so much for being here.
Sure, you're welcome.